Welcome back to Midlife Madness, where we talk about menopause, health and wellness, and faith. If you love our content, subscribe now. And not only that, share it with your friends because we are all in this together in this midlife madness. So today we're talking about a super frustrating topic, and it's about hair loss during menopause. Guys, if you're watching the YouTube, you can see my hair. It looks like I have a lot of hair, right? Well, before perimenopause, I used to not be able to leave my hair down like this. I always had to have it half and half or in a bun because I had so much hair that I looked like a lion, but not anymore. Every single time I wash my hair, I have a ton of hair, just a ton of hair coming off, whether in the brush or in the shower drain, or if after I sleep, I can see hair on the pillowcase. So, does anybody else experience that now? I have hair thinning out, especially in areas like right up here or here by the temples. That's super common area to start losing hair or the hair thinning. And so we're going to talk about this because every single woman I know we talk about it. Like they're experiencing this in their midlife madness. And you know what, guys? There are things that we can do. You're not broken. It's midlife madness. And so let's get right into it. So you're not alone. Hair thinning during perimenopause and menopause is incredibly common. It affects nearly 40 to 50% of women. But here's the thing, most of women don't talk about it. We quietly panic. We try every single supplement we see on Instagram, and we wonder if we're doing something wrong. This episode is to understand the root cause of why this is happening. And then also I'm going to give you some tips that I've used that has helped me with my hair thinning or hair loss. So here we go. Of course, why does this happen? Number one is your hormones. It's always number one. When estrogen and progesterone drops, these hormones keep hair in its growth phase longer. So when they decline, hair grows slower and sheds faster. So once again, we got to check our hormone levels and make sure that your hormones are balanced. So there's an influence that testosterone has. As estrogen drops, the balance shifts toward more androgens, which is the male hormones. That can shrink hair follicles. So your hair follicles can actually shrink, especially in the crown area and in the temples, which is my stubborn areas that I'm losing hair or the hair thinning. That leads to what's called female pattern thinning. And so that has to do with your testosterone levels, your estrogen levels, the progesterone levels. So you got to check your hormones, guys. Always, always, always. Also, when your thyroid slows down, it affects your hair. So menopause and thyroid function are deeply connected. Low thyroid can cause hair to become brittle, dry, or fall out easier. So does this resonate with anybody? Is this happening with you? It can also have to do with the thyroid. Of course, here we go. Stress and cortisol levels, guys. Stress affects our body in so many different ways. So when you have emotional stress, when you have sleep loss, or even the stress of going through menopause itself can trigger shedding. So the fancy medical term for that is telogen effluvium, which means temporary hair loss. And this is temporary hair loss. So that means that you can do something about it. And so you have to implement things that helps you manage your stress levels, guys. We have other videos about this, of how to manage stress levels. This is important. You've got to work on a daily basis on lowering your cortisol levels. Super important, especially in the society that everybody lives stressed out. So You got to create those boundaries and those self-care things that help you lower your stress levels. Number 5, which is super important as well, is nutrient deficiencies. So, like if you don't have enough iron or vitamin D, protein, biotin in your body, then you can shed hair. Your hair gets more fragile and slows down growth. This is what's happening with people that are taking GLP-1 injections. One of the side effects of the GLP-1s is hair falling off and they're losing a ton of hair. Why? Because they're not eating enough protein. It's super important to eat enough protein, guys. You got to feed your hair. So make sure that your meals on a daily basis prioritizes protein because it's important. It's important, and that's what's happening with injections. So also you can add collagen peptides to your daily intake, and that's going to help with that. So let's get right to that. Actually, let's talk about what you can do about it, because you can actually help your hair. You don't have to live like that. You just have to do things that's going to uh, help with hair growth, and then also to so your hair doesn't thin, right? So what can you do about it? Now, remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm a master certified health coach, but I also talk about these things out of personal experience. And so you can always talk to your provider about these things. Number 1, support your hormones. So go check your hormones, get them balanced, see if you need to do hormone replacement therapy. The one that I do is bioidentical hormone replacement. You can also do some adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha and maca. These can support your stress and hormone balance naturally. So they can support your stress levels and help balance your hormones naturally. Also, feed your hair from the inside out. What does that mean? Again, prioritize protein. Hair is made out of keratin, a protein that needs amino acids to thrive. And protein does infuse your body with amino acids. So protein, protein, protein. Anybody in perimenopause or menopause has to prioritize protein. You can also add collagen peptides and omega-3s for stronger strands of hair, okay? Check your iron, ferritin, and thyroid levels with your provider. That will also give you some intel of how you're doing and how it's affecting your hair. Lower your stress hormones. So red light therapy, meditation, prayer, journaling, nature walks can calm your cortisol levels. Cortisol literally, guys, this is super interesting. Cortisol literally chokes off hair follicles if it stays high. It chokes off hair follicles if it stays high. Deep restorative sleep is the best beauty treatment. Hands down, number one for everything in life. Deep restorative sleep. Make sure you're sleeping deep. Make sure you're sleeping for a long period of time. Adjust your nighttime routine. Adjust what happens in your bedroom. Make sure it's cold. Make sure you have bed sheets that are comfy. Make sure you can do grounding sheets. Make sure it smells good. You can do aromatherapy. There's so many things you can do to help you sleep. We have another video that talks about sleep. Sleep is your number 1 beauty and health, period. Also, there's like topical support things that you can do. So scalp massage with rosemary oil or peppermint oil can boost circulation in the area. Look for products with peptides, caffeine. You can also use red light caps that stimulate growth in your hair. So that actually does really work. Avoid tight hairstyles and harsh chemical treatments that stress the follicles. Now, I want to share with you a couple of things that I personally do to help with support of my hair. Now, I used to use a lot of buns. When I dance so much. You know, I've been a dancer my whole life, so obviously that requires buns. So like my hairline has gone down. The more you do buns and the more you tightly brush your hair back, the more it affects your hairline. So be careful with that. When I do not feel like doing my hair, I throw it up in a bun. I've been trying to be more intentional about that because not only that I don't want my hairline to go more back, but also I don't want to lose hair. So be careful with the tight hairstyles, okay? I used to do like the pineapple on my head before I go to sleep because I do have curly hair and it requires certain things. And so I don't do that anymore. I actually use one of these guys. I don't know what you call them, beanies. I'm not really sure, but it's lined with like silk lining, and that does not hurt my curls. So I use that to go to sleep. Also, here's a couple of things that I use. I use this fan brush. When I brush my hair, I brush my hair in the shower because obviously I have this curly hair. I wash my hair. I put hair treatment in my hair, conditioning treatment in my hair, and I brush it with this fan brush because it doesn't break my hair, which is super important for me. I also use this Mary Ruth Liquid Morning Multivitamin with Hair Growth. This is what it looks like. Now, this is a double-edged sword because it works. Like this thing works, guys. Again, it's Mary Ruth Liquid Morning Multivitamin with Hair Growth. It works so well that it's brought another problem to my life. And the problem is that now I have to color my hair more often. I have so many grays going down this line here in the crown of my head. And all the grays are like all right here. But when I started taking this, now my hair is growing faster. So that means that now I have to color my hair more. So I don't know. Do I focus on hair growth or do I focus on not having to color my hair so often? I got to focus on hair growth because I don't want to lose hair and I want my hair to be strong. So I have to color it every 4 weeks. I also found this. So I don't know if you can see it. If you're watching, you can see that. Let me tell you what it is. Hair Ritual by Sisley. It's called the Serum Revitalizing Fortifying Serum for the scalp, or the scalp, I should say, scalp. I found this at Blue Mercury. It's the store Blue Mercury. I paid $250 for this. It's not cheap. But what you do is what I do is, you see, it's like a dropper. And at bedtime, I put a couple of drops right here in the crown of my head and in my temples right here where I'm starting to see like the lines. You see that? Um, so I just put a couple of drops here on the crown of my head, a couple of drops in each side in my temples. 2 days, 2 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, 2 days off. And I've seen a difference already. I've only been using this for like 2 weeks, and this actually works. It's not cheap. $250 is what I pay for this. But it works. It works. So there's things that works that you can do. Red light therapy is really incredible for our scalp. So if you come to our office in Pembroke Pines, then you make sure that you use the face mask because it is going to help with the scalp of your hair. Okay. Now let's talk about healing mindset, guys. So, hair loss can be deeply emotional. Remember, it's not just about your hair, it's your hormones, your health, your whole system is shifting in midlife, right? Perimenopause, menopause, all the pauses. So, give yourself some grace, give yourself some patience, be patient with you. Patience will go a long way. Your body is asking for care, not criticism. And I always say this, we can be our own critics really bad. Like we can beat ourselves up really bad. Your body's asking for care, not criticism. So change your mindset from critical to healing. What can I do to help my body through this phase of my life? And so implement, guys. If this is resonating with you, if you're saying, man, this is happening to me, like I get it. I'm losing hair, my hair's thinning, all the things. Then thank God that we have things that we can do about it instead of criticizing or beating ourselves up. So menopause doesn't mean that you're losing your beauty. It's just about redefining it. What are the things that we have to do different? Your hair tells a story of what's happening inside your body. I have a friend that's a hairstylist, and she told me a little while back, which is incredible. She knows how her client takes care of her body based on the health of her hair. That is so, so incredible. Like, she's like, I can tell if my client eats enough protein or drinks enough water based on the hair. So that's another thing that you can do is make sure you're hydrating and drinking a ton of water because that hydration helps with your hair too and your skin. All these things are connected together, guys. When you nourish your hormones, reduce your stress, feed yourself well, that story can change. You can change your story. And your confidence will grow right along with your hair. So let's work on these things, guys. You don't have to just take it at face value and just say, you know what, this is what it is. There's things that you can do every single day to help with your confidence, with your hair, and with life in general. So I hope this was helpful. Again, remember, subscribe to our channel every single week. We're going to drop a new video that gives you tips on how to live this midlife madness. I'm Coach Martha, and I'll see you soon.